Appreciate what you and both you and Susie are doing. A couple things that I took a note on. Number one is how many people know what ETL is? You know what I mean? I think that is a big aha because can we agree? Most of us would, if we asked everybody that came in the last 30 days, how many of us agree the majority probably know what CQ is? Right? Because isn't it something that we all talked about, right? We got to get you CQ, right? We got to get you in a position to get paid. We got to release that first bonus and to take that mindset just another step down the compensation plan and talk about ETL and what is ETL. Because whatever we think about, we get. Can we agree with that statement? Whatever we talk about, whatever we're asking for, whatever we're obsessing about. So I love that part, Ken. And I love how you got him to do it on Friday. So it was like, a sense of accomplishment. I just put in my last 2 points. Then I get on the leadership call, get my mind blown as far as, the information and, getting an opportunity to see over, 100 plus people on there. And then to get off that call, and I'm sure you guys did a lot of this yourselves, scheduling 7 Zoom meetings for his organization. Everybody clear on how many of us want to have that happen this Friday in your team? See, this is all about us having that ETL conversation with people and really making that the focal point when somebody comes into the team. Because if we're talking about ETL like Ken is, and we're explaining to them the importance of, hey, go get 2 more points, and hey, look, how many of us have somebody that is less than 7 points away from ETL that we could have gone on last Friday? But because we didn't stretch, because we didn't talk about it, because we didn't obsess, because we didn't make a list, because we weren't, present with, hey, I need to get more people on that ETL call, because, here's the value. It takes their thinking to another level, yes or no. All of a sudden they get into a room of other people that are executives and higher, and they start to rise to the level of expectation. So I love that idea. I really appreciate both you and Susie Ken, and I love that idea of how many people don't even know what that is. And look, I know that if I were to call some of the people that I'm working with, probably don't know what ETL is. They probably haven't quite understood the importance of that position and what that means and how that is now going to separate them from everyone else. And if we do it in 30 days, there's bonuses attached to it. And it's just a big deal, an ETL machine. And again, I want to get a chance to hear from somebody else here today that, is having a tremendous amount of success in ACN. As you probably know, number one regional director. He's the number one regional vice president. He's having a tremendous amount of success in ACN. He has 32 Zoom meetings booked in his open line regional director business. So he has 32 Zooms. Now, how many of us agree if you got 32 Zooms booked this week, it's going to be a great week, right? It's Thanksgiving every day for the next 5 days because you've got a bunch of people to talk to and a bunch of people to get in front of. And that's none other than our very own regional vice president, Mr. Harsh Patel. And Harsh, appreciate you. And, maybe you could just share some of the language of, getting people off to a fast start and moving them through the, getting started to that ETL position and having them sort of benefit from, moving them quicker, if you will. So I hope everybody's ready to take some notes, and I'd love for you to share a couple minutes with all of us here today on the call, Harsh.
Sure, Pat. Appreciate the system that you and Mike have created. I mean, you guys have just created an unbelievable system that's just been amazing. I mean, as long as you follow the system that you two have created, I mean, it just created some proven results. And the fact that you guys are always leading from the front, you guys are number one and number two SVPs in the company. I mean, that's just unheard of. So, I mean, I appreciate you guys leading from the front, what you guys are doing. So, it's pretty simple, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, when people partner up with us, it's one of those things where Zoom's made our life easy as far as talking to people. I mean, when we realize the fact that some of us have been non-Zoom babies, and some of us have been Zoom babies, if you know what I mean. So people don't understand the fact that we've driven miles and miles and miles to a no-show. You know what I mean? Like we've driven 5 hours and nobody showed up. And the fact that we have Zoom, I mean, I just appreciate the fact that we can jump on a Zoom call, invite some people, and get them going. So, and at the end of the day, it's all about speed. Zoom presentations have made my business grow, I think, 4 to 5 times faster than before, just because, one of the things I've been able to do, honestly, is get people on a call. And, having Friday night leadership with ETLs and above, one of the things I always do, and, Ken and Susie talked about it, Mr. Patrick Baser talked about it, Louis, on Mondays, I find out who's really, really close. I find out, okay, who's close, because I run my business like a business, right? Mondays is a great day to gauge who the next ETLs are going to be for Friday night leadership, who's close, who can we book a PBZ with. And Friday nights I use as a PBZ booking tool. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, hey, we got to get you the ETL class. We got to book a PBZ because we got to get you 1 or 2 IBOs. And that's been the biggest secret to one of the things my team has been done, is because what we've been able to accomplish is we always talk about, when we do a morning call, we always talk about who's our next ETL. I have the leaders identify their ETLs. I ask them to identify their ETLs, and the newest person has to have a PBZ in 24 hours. And if you sign up before 12 p.m., meaning 12 p.m., whatever time zone you're in, you're going to have probably a PBZ that night. Meaning you can get, everybody in this call could get 5 people in front of us in their first 12 hours. Could we agree to that? Meaning every single person in this call can get 5 people in front of us at the end of the day. And all I ask for is 5 people. I'm like, hey, listen, who's the 5 people you were thinking about while I was doing the presentation? You give me a call at 5 o'clock tonight. Won't use this Zoom link right here. I use my Zoom links are always the same. I have 3 different links, and I find out what they are, and they're always the same. So that way I don't make it complicated. I just make it simple for the new reps. Hey, this link you got on, we're going to use the same exact link. And I just move them faster. 24 hours, they got to get a new business partner. Because here's what I do know. Once I get them a business partner, they'll get qualified. You know what I mean? Once I get them another business partner, they'll get qualified, because it's simple conversations. Hey, you've missed $500 by not being qualified. Hey, I suggest you get qualified. Hey, you've missed a few bucks. We've signed up 4 people underneath you and you're not qualified. This morning I was talking to a girl named Crystal. We put 11 people underneath her. She wasn't qualified. Guess what the conversation this morning was? Hey, I don't know if you checked your team, but you're not qualified. She literally got qualified because she saw 11 people in her downline, and I didn't help her get qualified. She goes, hey, I got Vivint Home Security. I ordered through a guy named Kyle. Hey, I signed up for the annual ID sale, and I became my own electric customer. Is that enough? I said, yeah, you need 2 more. That is enough, but I told her you need 2 more because I want her to make the 5 services bonus as well. You know what I'm saying? But her being qualified will release her a more than a $400 check, because the 2 front lines she has also qualified as well. So at the end of the day, if you just focus on getting people out of people and just keep it going faster, you'll have success. And talking to your new reps like they need to get 24 people. Meaning day 1, week 1, the first thing I tell them is, listen, you need 24 recruits. We all know on this call, it takes 24 recruits to get them RD. We all know on this call, to make good income in ACN, you need to be a regional director or above. So why not tell them the truth out of the gate? Be like, hey, listen, for you to make some serious income, you got to have 24 personals. We got to get you RD for you guys to make serious money. Let's book you a Zoom. Let's start with the first one. Let's get you 5 people. And the faster you get them going and the faster you get them growing, guess what? The more excited they get, and because they get more excited, the more trainings they're going to want to be on, because now they're going to be the ones that are going to be like, oh my God, I got a team, I got to train. You're cultivating your people, and Mike made a great point the other day when I had a conversation. We forget that we have to win people over, and it takes time. And the only way to win people over is by working with them and doing the meetings that we got to get done with them. And the biggest thing I like about that conversation that me and Mr. Mike Baser had was literally the fact that if you keep working with them, you keep talking to them every day, everybody is not busy enough to book a Zoom call the next 4 or 5 hours. None of us on this call, including myself, have enough meetings for the day. And just being honest, meaning we all have enough where we can go be like, you know what, you just signed up this morning. Somebody just signed up yesterday. Hey, we need 5 people today at 5 o'clock. Hey, we need 5 people today at 6 o'clock. None of us are that busy. And once you get in the rhythm of booking that many Zooms every single day, you're going to go crazy. You're literally going to go crazy. If I show you today, for me, some of the people, my RDs, will be like, what harsh, I can't even fit 30 minutes in your schedule. I don't even see a time because I've already booked myself today. I'm smoked at 8 o'clock tonight every hour. Meaning there's not one time open in my schedule until 8 o'clock tonight. And because I'm running the way I'm running, my RDs, Billy's going like, I got to match you, Harsh, because you got to lead by example. Michael's like, I got to match you, Harsh. And once you get to that point of, okay, you got to go fast, and you got 24 hours with them, you got a 24-hour window with them. How many of you guys look at people differently? I got 24 hours to get people out of them. You will go faster because you only have 24 hours to get people out of them. Does that make sense? And if you go with that, you could take one person and put 15, 16 in 1 week if you actually put your head down and make them go that direction. And if you have that conversation of 24 their first day, I guarantee you they'll start running because now you're already telling them what it takes to get to where they want to go. And Pat, I hope that helps. Mike, I hope that helps. I mean, at the end of the day, if you focus on getting them people out of them within their first 24 hours, that's been my biggest secret. And that's just been one of the things I've done. I mean, that is where my teams just did really, really well because we're obsessed about booking PBZs like as soon as possible. Like we don't like when they say, "Oh, we want to just," one of the girls last Friday, she signed up. She goes, "Oh, I want to do another PBZ Friday." Great, I'll book that one for you. But when can you get me in front of 5 people tomorrow? We booked the PBZ she wanted for next Friday, meaning that was already done. Oh crap! I got Greg calling me. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I got Mr. Problem calling me. Got to pick up? Do I not pick up? Mike, tell me what do I do?
Keep talking.
Okay. This is weird. But literally, that's literally what I've done. I've literally had, people. I've made her book the PBZ that Friday. Literally, I made her book the PBZ that Friday. But I also said, hey, we need a Zoom tomorrow. And she put another person on the call and literally was able to get me one person. I got one person out of her. Now she doesn't even want to do that next Zoom next Friday. She was doing the Zoom today. She sent on Friday. We got her new business partner Saturday, and she had another Zoom book call today. So that Friday meeting she wanted to wait a whole week for. Does that make sense? We already got business partners out of her. Like, you determine the speed that they want to go. Does that make sense? Like, you determine how fast your team wants to go because you're in charge. They're following you. And once you adapt that mentality, in my opinion, because you've worked with leaders, yes? You've worked with the Mason brothers. When they wanted you to run, you ran, yes or no? And we've all been on that wheel. We've all worked at the intensity that they will imagine. If you work at that intensity, I promise your team will follow. And that's what you got to do. You got to book meetings. You got to go faster. You just got to get them 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. Get people. Give me 5 people. Give me 5 people. Give me 5 people. I promise you'll hit the home runs. See, I like hitting. I like to use the analogy of a baseball game. One base at a time eventually gets you to run. Yes or no? At the end of the day, you go to first base, you go to second, you go to third, you go to fourth. You eventually get the home run. Where that one bean is going to get you 11 outs. Where that one bean, a person to come in and get you 15 outs. It happens. Because, bro, trust me. I did one PBs. I got one. There was 7 meetings I did back to back where I got one per one. That's literally what happened to me. And there's one girl, Brandy, came in. We sponsored 11 in one meeting. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I hope this helps. Like I said, Mr. Mike and Pat, Clue. Hope what I just said kind of helps the organization. Just kind of, like I said, you determine how fast you go. So, yeah.
Harsh, that helped a lot. FYI, I text Greg. He said, don't worry about it. He said, call
okay, cool.
But, how many of you got something out of what Harsh said and what Ken said? How many of you see the fact that moving people quicker, right? See, let me give you the difference between me coaching when I first came into the business and me coaching now. It's all setting the expectation. How many of you are talking to people about going CQ? Can we agree the best they're ever going to do is go CQ? Imagine if you just, instead of talking about CQ, talking about we need to get you ETL. That's the first conversation you have right out of the gate. Can we agree that to go ETL, they got to get CQ? Like, I really believe that the first position in ACN is ETL. It's not CQ. But here's sometimes what we get caught at. We're coaching at a lower level. If you just take that coaching to the next level and take CQ out of your language and say, look, we need to get you ETL. What's that? It gets you into a special training. It puts you in a position to make money. First thing we got to do is schedule you a Zoom. I need 5 people in the next 24 hours. Harsh said something on the RVP call that really resonated with me. He goes, look, everybody can get 5 people on a Zoom, yes or no? And they're not going to use the script anyways, no matter how much we train them. Can we agree with that? How many of you invited your first 5 people not using the script? But you had enough influence over people to get them to come take a look. That's the same thing. Once you get people moving faster, see, that's what Zoom's allowed us to do, is to get people moving faster. It just get them moving faster. I feel we overtrain. This is a super simple business. So I really appreciate that language and just coaching them at a higher level right out of the gate. So, Pat, I'll throw it to you, but if anybody has any questions for Ken or Harsh, it would really go a long way. If there's anything that maybe you had an aha moment or you don't understand.
I got one quick question for Harsh or Ken and Susie. So I'm with you on that. Can you get me somebody on the Zoom with me later tonight? Harsh, real quick, what do you tell them to say?
Give me 5 people.
I know, but I got you. But what are they saying to the 5 people?
I got a Zoom call. I mean, I don't really teach a script because, like Mike said, we never use a script when we vetted our first 5. Again, it's over. If you make them overthinking, you're gonna get them paralyzed. Hey, can you give me 5 people? What 5 people were you thinking about that you can put on a Zoom call? I was thinking about this, this, and this. Okay, great. Call them up. Tell them to be on the Zoom call at 5 o'clock today. That's it. Dummy it down. Like, make it like you're talking to a 3rd grader. How would a 3rd grader invite people to go? How does a kid tell you, your daughter? How does she get you to get you toys? Does she describe what toy it is, or she tells you, "Daddy, I want this toy"? It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't go into the details of what it is and whatnot. She just tells you, "Hey, this is what I want," right? So, I know I'm using kind of a bad analogy, but if you overcomplicate it, you're going to paralyze them. If you, like Mike said, if you overtrain them, you're going to paralyze them. There's no need for that. The training will do that part when they're booking their 2nd or 3rd or 4th PVZ. Does that make sense? Like, they'll naturally go around them doing that. If you tell them, hey, I was on the RVP class. This is what I told Mike and Pat. I said, my first meeting, even though I was working with Patrick, and Patrick taught me the script, and he practiced and practiced and practiced, I didn't use the script on the first people that came to my house. I just did it. I mean, because how many of us always get the thing of, man, it's awkward using the script with my mom or my uncle or my business partner. So, it feels awkward. And because it feels awkward, so they're not going to do it anyways. So I just say, hey, just call them up, ask them to come on a Zoom call at 5 o'clock. Or has to come on a Zoom call at 6 o'clock. I don't overcomplicate things. I just make it so simple where they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Don't worry about the how to. Just book the meeting. Don't trust me. They'll figure out a way to put a few people on. They might not have 5. They might have 2.
Gotcha.
Who cares? You did your job. Get one out and keep it moving.
Great question, Derek. And I think that comes to a lot of us having our foot in the old way of doing business. It's like, look, you get 5 people on a Zoom call. They'll get them on, and the less they say and the more excited they are, the more probability they have of getting those people on the call. But once again, it's just moving them faster. But thank you for asking that question. Anybody else?
Yeah, Harsh, it's Jeff. Can I ask one question? So you get them on the phone, get on a Zoom. So Harsh, what's this about?
What do you mean? I'm not understanding your question.
That's the question I'm asking you. I invited you to a Zoom. You invite me to a Zoom, and my first reaction is, what's this about? How are you going to answer that?
Is this like a cold market? Like, are you doing a cold market, or is this your team?
He's asking the question.
Market.
You're asking the question on they're calling those 5 people? Correct.
So your team's calling those 5 people?
Yes.
And then the person.
And you're trying to call?
Yeah, the new guy that just signed up, you said, hey, Harsh, I need 5 people on a Zoom tonight at 4 o'clock. Can you make it? His question is, what do you teach them how to say? Correct, Jeff? Am I answering the question?
Yeah, so I call you up and say, hey, Harsh, this is Jeff. I need you on a Zoom tonight at 6 o'clock. Can you join? And your question to me is, what's it about? That's what I want you to answer.
So I'm making money from home.
Keep it simple. I see.
Right. But see, look, the less that they know what to say, the less they'll say.
Again, don't try to train them on answering questions. I think that's what you're trying to do. Again, you're trying to teach them the script and they answer questions. Don't try to do that. Let them go to the training that will take care of that. Remember, book a bit. The 3 things you want to do, which I forgot to mention. The first thing you want to do is, okay, when can you be in front of 5 people? Number 2 is between today and tomorrow, when can you go to a training? And once you go to that training, when can I set up a time to get, talk about discuss what happened in the training? Those are 3 things I talked about. That's it. I'm done after that point. Zoom call's over. I got what I needed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good question. I think the real point to this, guys, is just moving them quicker.
Hey, Mike.
Just moving them faster.
Mike, I think it's like, I love Zoom, I do, but I think it's just, for some of us old heads, it's just a challenge to just let it go and not be so structured, you know what I mean? With knowing what to say and how to say and what do you say if they ask you questions, right? So it's kind of, that's where I think myself and some of us may be still stuck getting past that and just, like Harsh said, just let it rip.
Right. And back to my initial comment was, I think a lot of us have a foot in the old way and a foot in the new way. And we got to move right over to the new way of doing business, going quicker. Meaning if I can
also, when you book that Zoom,
go ahead.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt you, Mike. Before when you book that Zoom, always text them a few hours later or shoot them a quick call. How is it looking? Like how we normally did, you know what I'm saying? Like always ask them. I forgot to mention that to you. So let's say if you Zoom call, your Zoom's at 6, you book that Zoom. Let's say you just book that right now, right? Shoot them a quick text at 3 o'clock. Hey, how's the Zoom call looking? They'll usually tell you they got 1 or 2 people. That's all you really need to hear. Okay, great. You need 3 or 4 more. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike, but that is an important key because that way that Zoom call that night doesn't cancel. Sorry about that.
Great point.
I think one thing I want to add to Harsh, compliment Harsh on is, especially us who are like a little more I could talk for myself coddling, but when he says he's done, it doesn't mean he's done with that human. It means he's already gone so deep. He's doing the best thing ever, which is, well, we should all be doing, which is building that one leg so fast and furious and being so deep in it that they're chasing. Like I did what Harsh just said now because I took a page out of his book, obviously. But I was just looking at one of my guys' structures and I was like, holy shit, I just did that unconsciously. Like we put in 3 and I'm already with the new one. And today she's putting, like this is in 48 hours, but 3 in and the new one. And she's putting 6 people in front of me in a couple hours here. We have a 3 o'clock. But as soon as I'm with that next person, and then they're doing their training tonight, or I think tonight is when they're going to training because they couldn't with the holidays. But I'm already 5 deep on Angelica, who now has struggled, who now called me before this call saying, I got myself customer qualified. I'm not missing $300 more. Like, so it's not that we're done with humans. I think that's where we get stuck, where we're discarding these people. No, it's just we're helping them the best way possible is to build. I mean, how many of us would love to have somebody run 12, 20 levels deep on us? Right? Yeah. Please. No, I'm just kidding. But my point is that I think that's such great nuggets, Harsh. Thank you for that because, yeah, like if we go 10 levels deep by every 24 hours, like putting in, keep going. Not that we're done with the other humans. It's just that.
Think about it. If you're coaching me and you tell me to get CQ, what am I going to do?
CQ.
Yeah. But if you're coaching me and say, look, we got to get you ETL, and here's what we got to do, what am I going to do?
Go ETL. Yeah, I like that. I love that language. I love it. I'm never saying CQ.
We're raising the expectation. That's all we're doing. They're going to give us what we ask for. I remember when I sponsored Giyashimet, I was like, I need 24 people, and you'll go RD. He goes, okay, great. How fast can I do that? I'm like, as fast as possible. Let's do it. But but if I would have never said that, he would have never done it. And I can go through lists of people that have hit RVP and SVP in our team. That's the same thing. I just started them off with the coaching. Look, you need 24. Now, that doesn't mean you sponsor 1, they sponsor 3. That's 4. That's 1. You need 24 personal recruits. Now, can everybody handle that conversation? No, but the ones that can go all the way. Anybody else? Anything anybody else want to add? Well, first of all, thank you, Ken. Thank you, Harsh. Appreciate the coaching. Appreciate the moving it faster. You know, I know a lot of people got a lot out of that, and they're going to move their teams faster. And with that being said, I'll throw the call back to Senior Vice President, Mr. Patrick May.
Yeah, no,